I am Marwan Cameron, and this is the Conduit. All right, y'all. It is Tuesday, September 21, 77 degrees in Kitsap County, straight up 6 p.m. I hope you had a good day. I know that I did. I am blessed and highly favored. So much to do, and we're just trying to get it done. Well, as you know, today is a special day. It is the world premiere of our newest show, Deborah's Corner. So you know this is going to be something good. It's going to be something awesome. I'm super excited about this show. The conversations and the different things that we're going to have going on is going to be powerful. So we're going to talk about the serious issues, but we're going to laugh. We're going to have love. That's also important, right? As we struggle and we try to maintain and get through and make our gains and make our mark in the world, we got to smile at the same time. That's important. We can't lose that because that's a part of who we are at our core. They can't take it from us, and they won't. See that? That's a genuine smile. And when Deborah comes on, you're going to smile even more. So I ain't even going to wait. I can see her smiling in the green room. We're super excited. So let's go ahead and bring her on.
Hey,
Miss Deborah.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I'd like to go ahead and say, welcome to Deborah's Corner. There's been many issues and barriers that Surviving Change and Hope 360 have been enduring in the community. But first, let's go ahead and start this off with some positive aspects to share with the county and with our community. I just wanted to let everybody know that, Hope 360 does a Christmas program every year. And this is our 14th annual Christmas program. And this year we'll be hosting it at St. Clair Missionary Baptist Church. And we're going to be also having a triage unit, pop-up clinic. So to get those vaccines, because, we do support that COVID-19 vaccine. And for the underprivileged and the people of color, we need to be vaccinated. And another thing I wanted to say that's been the big buzz around town and on the internet. Yes. We locked her in. We locked her down. We will be having Leandria Johnson here February 19th at the 8th Annual Washington State African American Achievement Award. Yes, locked down, and we're so excited. She is excited to come and appear. So, and do a show for us for our awards, our 8th Annual Washington State African American Achievement Award. She's excited. Her people are excited. And they've been very, very good to me. So we've been working on the contract all day today, and she is locked in, sold up, and we're ready to rock and roll with this.
All right, now let me go ahead and if it's like that, definitely mark it on your calendars. When is that again?
February 19th, 2022.
All right. And we will definitely give you reminders as we go through the rest of 2021 and into 2022. So you can RSVP and not forget about this important date. So you want to set it up. So you have a guest with you. You have Mr. Anthony Robinson with you, retired Navy. And then you also have Yolanda, who I'm going to bring up. So how you doing there, Yolanda? Good to see you.
Thank you. Hello. I'm supporting Miss Deborah.
I love it. That's how it's got to work, right?
Thank you.
So support is how it has to work, right? That's how we make things happen. That's how we make change. Surviving Change is the name. So before we get into having a conversation with Mr. Robinson, tell me, Deborah, why Surviving Change? How did you come up with the name Surviving Change? Why did you create Surviving Change? Why is it important? Talk about it.
Well, the reason why I created Surviving Change, coming from a family of 13 kids and 12 different fathers, related to many and connected to many families, and being raised in West Park, not having a silver spoon. So I always felt myself in a survival mode. So instead of going ahead blaming the white man, I decided to be an example for my children and go back to school. And I received 3 degrees in 3 years and worked full time as a mother. I was able to go ahead and take myself off of welfare after I got my first degree. Because you know how you get to building that self esteem. And I wanted to be an example to my children. So, how I came up with surviving change is that I believe I survived. I overcame obstacles, barriers, you know what I'm saying, scandalizing my name, putting in certain categories, you know what I'm saying, shunned. So, I was always in survival mode. So that's why I call it surviving change. And my motto is eliminating, paralyzing, self-perceived limitations.
I love that. I love that. And you know what? That's so important. And in this day, in 2021, with social media, right? We live our lives in the public domain, right? And our youth, I don't think they really realize that, right? So everything is out there, and the world is so much harsher, but it's also so much, smaller. And so when they take those hits, right, when they make those missteps, when they make those mistakes, it's a lot harder to hide, right? But somehow you got to survive that change and keep going. And so you're a testimony to that. And I think they really need someone like you right now to show them that there is a way forward after they make that mistake, right? Doesn't matter what you did or how bad it was, you can come back from it if you're willing to,
Oh,
do the
yes,
work.
definitely. And I'm very open about my life. I'm open about warrants. I'm open about selling drugs. I'm open about changing my life, being an example for my children, being an example for single mothers. My children, us graduating from college and high school at the same time, my children being officers of the law. I'm a very proud mother. You know what I'm saying? I know change can come. I mean, I went to school and got 3 degrees in 3 years and also still worked full time and still was active in my children's lives.
Talk
So,
about
oh yes, I'm very, 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 very proud. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very, very open. So I believe in teaching young mothers because, and I'm hard because if I did it, you can do it as a single mother. And my kids all graduated. They're on homecoming courts. They've been done so much in their lives in high school and in college, you know, and they had a lot. And I made a lot of sacrifices because I was married back when I was in Oklahoma, receiving first at the bomb site. I was married to my community. Received many awards down there from Dr. Claire Looper, one of the main advocates, activists, sit-ins in Oklahoma City. She's a Zeta. Roosevelt Melton. He's I can't even think right now, so I apologize. But anyway, I learned from the best and learned about myself. Coming out from among them, and then revising myself, revamping myself, and being an example for my children. So an example for others. I mean, look, I ran for mayor. They put my mug shot out there. You know what I'm saying? I still kept running. I hadn't seen my nephew in, probably when he was born. You know what he said to me when he had lost his mother and I was laying her to rest? He goes, Auntie, I showed you for show and tell. I said, what? I hadn't seen him since he was a baby. He goes, you was my show and tell at Crown Hill School. I said, that's my auntie. She's running for mayor. Even if they kept putting my mug shot on the front page. First it was in black and white. Then they put it on color, and I didn't even take the paper. They would make sure the paper got put on my front porch, even if I didn't receive the paper. And I went through a lot with that, but I still kept standing. And, something I'm proud and I'm still standing. Even going through a lot now, scandalizing my name and doing the most, I'm still here for the fight of the people. But one thing people don't know, when I started Surviving Change and built Surviving Change, people did not know I was homeless. I was homeless for 5 years. And when I started Surviving Change, I lived in the office and put 4 chairs together and had 2 pillows, and my mink coat was my blanket. And yes, I was homeless. And so that I know you can do it, you know what I'm saying? and I started, cleaning up my records. And I still had the warrant out there, but I was getting everything together here. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let
So
me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you because this is really important, right? So
yes.
here you are, you're homeless, you're struggling. Why would you start an organization to help other people while you're in the midst of not being stable yourself?
I was on fire. I was proud of myself. I was a proud mother. Here, my children graduated. My son with the BS degree, my daughter with the BA degree, my other son in college, finna do law school. And I just graduated with my master's, and all of us at the same time. So I came back here on fire. Wanting to show people you can change, you can do it. But then I had to realize I couldn't move forward until I cleaned up my stuff here when I got back here, what I'm saying? And now I'm working on other stuff. But that's why I was excited. I was on fire. I wasn't going to let nothing stop me. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wasn't given to me. And I did believe that give respect, you got to take respect. I think you always talk about that all the time. Correct, Marwan?
That's right. You got to take power. It's
Yeah,
not given.
definitely. So, and I wasn't ashamed. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't ashamed. Plus, I had good mentors coming up. Officer Terry Wellings, Judge Kenneth Lewis. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, they always believed in me. Mr. Lane Dow, in high school. Even to this day, one of my biggest supporters, and him and Officer Terry Wellings, who's retired. So I always had good people behind me, supporting me, and then helping me and reminding me about change. And they knew what was inside me. They weren't even my own people.
So I got to ask you because this, as I was saying before, there's so many of our young adults, right? And quite frankly, there's so many of our older adults, right? Folks that are in their 40s and 50s that have made mistakes and they feel shame, right? Because they were doing well. They fell off for whatever reason, and now they don't want to show their face until they build themselves back up. You didn't do that. You're like, look, I'm proud now, even though I'm in this situation. So what can you tell those folks that find themselves struggling right now? They're not where they want to be in their lives. They're embarrassed. They're ashamed, right? And they want to do the work. They're working on the work. They know it's going to take time. It's going to take years to clean up some of that stuff. But what do you tell them to stand tall and be proud and don't worry about that? Don't let people judge you and don't judge yourself. What do you have to say to them?
Well, my thing is stop beating yourself up. You know what I'm saying? You are who you are. And I always say, I am who I am until I see God. The most thing that I feared and is depart from me, I do not know thee. And to be cast in the lake of fire. That's what I fear. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't know. I think I've always been that go-getter, that fighter. I mean, hell, I was the West High Wildcat. You know what I'm saying? At West High School, and I think I was a damn good Wildcat. But so that told you a lot about then. Then I got, I was crowned the most school spirit. You know, so I just think something was always down in me, and those individuals believed in me then. And then when I came back, they supported me when I came back, and they were proud. So what I can tell them, look at yourself. Don't worry about what people say. Don't worry about what people are always going to talk. Number one thing I tell people, don't let nobody tell your story. Nobody can tell your story like you can. Did nobody walk in your shoes but you and live that life? Your story is your story. Everybody's gonna make up something, you know. So I'm just hey, I just believe in myself. And I think the most thing that makes me so proud is what I've done with my children. I think that what gives me the power and the energy and to be zealous and to keep going on, because I made change. I didn't go out and blame the white man. You understand what I'm saying? When they said come out from among them, I moved my kids and then made change with them and for them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just pretty proud about that. Well, I am.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. So let me go to Yolanda. Yolanda, my question for you is this, right? Miss Deborah, she can be a hard woman, right? She,
Yes, you can.
straight, right? But you know that she's passionate and she cares. So why are you here next to this woman, working with her day in and day out in the struggle?
Well, I love Deborah. Me and Deborah grew up together. And yes, she's hard. Believe it. She's hard on me. me and her, she is really hard on everybody, but she wants us to be strong and learn things. I
Love,
mean,
right?
we get into it all the time, but I'm still there, you know.
Yes.
But she's shown me a lot and she's done a lot for us. She helped lay my sister to rest. She's been helping taking care of my brother. I just love her. Even though me and her don't see eye to eye all the time, she's still there. You know, no matter what, she's still
Yolanda,
there, and
let
I
me
love
ask
her
you
for
a
that.
question. Let me ask you a question, right? So you say that you don't see eye to eye all the time. That's another challenge that we have in our community, right? When
Well, what I'm saying is, I might not do things quick enough or fast enough the way that she wants to do. Wants me to do it. Deborah is a genius in that paperwork. She's a genius. She's a genius in that paperwork, and it takes me a long time to comprehend. But I'm learning. I'm learning.
so tell me
That's
this
that's
then.
what I mean.
Why don't you quit? I mean, if she is so hard and you don't do it as fast and you don't do it correct, why don't you just quit? Everybody else does. We're in just a cancel society. We don't.
Because I'm not a quitter. I'm a diehard. I'm not a quitter. I'm gonna be down for her no matter what.
Woo, down like four flat tires, ride or die,
Yeah,
huh?
I'm not a quitter. My mom and her mom were best friends, so I'm not a quitter. I'm
Mm.
not a quitter.
So it sounds like you got to stand for something or you fall for anything.
And you know what? And I'm teaching.
United we stand, divided we fall.
You already know that. But I wanted to tell you this and everything. One thing I try to teach young women, yes, I'm hard, but a lot of people know when you come involved with me, I'm hard. I can be mean or whatever they want to say, but they know I'm a diehard. I'm loyal. You know what I'm saying? I am very, very loyal. You know what I'm saying? I can be mad at you, but we gonna still get the mission done, the job done. I'm still down for the count. I'm not one that be mad at you and run. No, I can still work with you.
Yes, that's true.
What's powerful there is it sounds like folks, understanding and knowing who a person is, right? Understanding their heart. So if you know who a person is, you can have that conflict and you can have those issues that come up and those arguments and those disagreements, but you know that ultimately you're on mission, it's in love, it's just a miscommunication, or you know what, we're gonna have to agree to disagree on this particular issue, but that doesn't mean I love you any less, and we're gonna go forward and do good. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me, and that's
Yep.
what's a big piece that's missing with us. Would y'all agree with that? What's your
Yes.
thoughts?
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah, jump in here, sir. I
Well,
introduced him earlier. This is
well,
Mr.
my name is Anthony Robinson. Most people know me as Boss.
All right,
And
boss.
I don't believe in, hiding anything about my life either. You know, I I'm a straight up hustler. You know what I'm saying? Educated, book wise, street wise. You know what I'm saying? And I hold the utmost respect, not just to a black queen, but every queen. You see what I'm saying? Like I tell my friends that when they say, you're so unique, you're a different type of man, because I understand. See, man think he's stronger than woman, but God gave woman the ultimate gift, and that's to bring life into this world. You see, so you young men out there that's abusing your women, talking to them downright nasty, you know what I'm saying? Won't get up and go to work and help pay a bill.
Uh-oh.
You ain't a man.
Uh-oh.
You ain't a man.
Woo.
You see, and that's the thing, about being out here in this Northwest. I ain't gonna lie to you. Most black men out here could never get my respect. Never. And I can count on both hands how many have since 1976 I've been in the Northwest. You see,
Talk about
because my mother raised 12 kids on her own.
wow.
And she started out as a lunch aide. My friends laughed at her. But over the years, she became an educator and one of the most respectful women in Trenton, New Jersey, by all hustlers and educated people. She did programs for poor people in the ghetto. I don't know nothing about no middle class. The only thing I know about middle class is the hats I wear. That's middle class to me. But other than life, I come from Poe. Like I used to tell the judges in my underworld life when they said, "We got you, you're through." No, I'm never gonna be through. I'm a trooper. I get down in the trenches. What you go to the restaurant pay $300 for to put a smile on your wife's face, I can go to the store and get a can of pork and beans, pack of hot dogs, and some rice and gravy and onions. I got a gourmet meal.
Wait, hold on. I got to hit the horn on that. I need you to speak to that, sir.
You're only as rich as you make yourself. You see, I'm rich. I've always been rich. I've always been rich and had the finer things in life, not because of what I did to get them, because that's just the type of person my mama raised. You see, if I wear a pair of pants with holes in them, I still think I'm on point. Because they're going to be clean, they're going to be pressed, and I'm still going to carry myself like a king that I am.
You sound like my dad.
You see, I'm from the old school. You know, most black men talk about I'm the man of my family. See, no. See, I'm the king of my clan. See, I come from a clan. You see what I'm saying? And I believe you never leave clan on the side of the road. And some people here in Birmingham that I've met along my journey, like Miss Deborah here, you know what I'm saying? I've known her from back in the day since 1980. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
When I come here, you know what I'm saying? And show Birmingham what a real city person do. You see what I'm saying? You get paid. You see what I'm saying? If you behind time, you can't get paid. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep ticking with the times. And I'm here to represent Miss Deborah because she reminds me of her mother, who reminded me of my mother, you know, one that would do anything for anybody. Didn't really matter the color of your skin. You see, Miss Mo feed you, clothe you, house you. Didn't matter what you did, you know, whether it was right or wrong, legal or illegal. But long as you respect her home and her.
I love it. I love it. Mr. Robinson, tell me something. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Robinson. Let me ask you a question. This is really important. Where you come from, your background, your cloth that you're cut from.
Well, I'm cut from Shirley Lee Robinson, my mama. You see, I don't fly no flags or colors. I fly Shirley Lee flag. You know what I'm saying? Straight up the honest truth. That's what you're going to get from me. And straight to the point. You see, I don't believe in playing games.
So tell me this. Tell me this, sir. Men today, we're so caught up on the bling, possessions, right? But we've lost family, sense of community. You're talking about I can do pork and beans, and your $300 meal doesn't even match up. It doesn't compare. Talk about that mindset, because that's what we got to recapture.
That's the thing about young brothers nowadays. Like I tell my friends, when you go to the store and you buy that 75-inch TV and you sit up there watching them sports, all you see is that big picture. But you see, my mother taught me to look beyond the big picture, because beyond the big picture, there's a bunch of little pictures that make that big picture. So when you're looking at that screen, there's a million little boxes that make that big 75-inch that you ain't looking at. So you're missing something. You're missing something. You see, if you missing something, you can't teach nothing. You see, like my mother said, you don't have to respect a man because of their age. You know what I'm saying? My mother taught me I ain't even got to respect my own daddy because he's just another man. But I'll never disrespect my mama. You see, a man, he earns his respect from another man. It's not to be given. Because a real man, he knows what he's supposed to do. Take care of his clan. Sacrifice anything for his clan to ensure that his next generation has a better life and produce more for our people. Not bling bling. You see, you can bling bling all you want.
Well,
that don't mean you a person.
I'm going to interrupt both of you guys here.
Go ahead.
Because I do have to go ahead and step. I have to say, my young men that are like in their 40s, I have to say it. A lot of them came up as gangbangers, But I do have to say I am very proud of them, how many of them became fathers and took on that family and that responsibility and made that change. So I really want to give them kudos, and I highly respect them, and I'm very proud of them, of those that made that change. And there's those out there that have made that change. And
Well, let me ask you all a question. So for young men, and this they could be, our young boys that are in their teens, our young men in their 20s, all the way to their 50s. If they want to, on that journey, right? They've gone through whatever they've gone through, and now they're ready to come on back. What would you tell them they need to do? How do they get on the path to get that respect from the boss?
First of all, you got to believe in yourself. You see what I'm saying? That's why I don't gamble. My friends, when I used to do business and we go to Vegas, they bet 50,000 on boxing matches. I'd laugh. And they'd ask me, why you not betting, boss? In a tenth of a second, one of them might get knocked out. I'm not going to lose my money on them. I'm going to bet on myself because I know what I can do and how far I can go. So like my grandfather used to say, you can't put shoes on number 2 unless you keep them on number 1. You see what I'm saying? Self-preservation always got to come first. Then you can do for the rest. And for anybody don't believe in themselves first, it's going to be a hard time to climb that mountain, especially when you're climbing out of a hole. And I've climbed out of many holes to maintain my self-respect, first of all, for myself, not for other people, but for myself.
Oh, I love that. That's powerful.
My name. You see, that's the thing. People are representing too many things except for who they are nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
I think we're putting on many, many faces for individuals. And then we have a hard time accepting those that are real and being themselves. And I think that's what's wrong with our society now. And people, we have the haves and the have-nots, and they want you to always have this facade or speak a certain way. Other than that, you're not part of the norm, or you're not a part of us, or we are ashamed to be a part of you. When we all stand before God, and when we all stand before God, we all going to smell and speak the same and be judged the same. It's not a different place in heaven. It's not categories in heaven. You know what I'm saying? We all going to be there the same. Everybody's rated the same level, the same playing states, everything. So I don't know this have and have nots, them versus us. I just don't understand how that could exist. And it does exist. But I don't try and let it exist in my world.
What you're saying is important there. And what I typed in the chat was, don't keep up with the Joneses, right? We're so busy trying to have the same car or the same house or the same clothes, and we don't need to worry about any of that. God ain't worried about all that, and that's not going to help you, get to where you need to go and maintain it. You know what I mean? Yolanda, what would you tell folks when they're trying to, especially our men that are trying to come back and be strong and get that respect that we're talking about? What would you tell them to do?
I would say hold your head up high and do what you set out to do, because you can do anything. You can do anything. And you got to help yourself first before somebody can help you.
Okay. So stick to your goals, stick to your word.
I believe you got to help people believe in themselves. I think you have to help people to help them to save them from themselves. And then when people see that you believe in them more than they believe in themselves, they begin to love you and be a part of your life, or want to be a part of your life. Bishop Robertson used to always say this to us. He's always saying, don't be mad at the individual because they're blessed. Start hanging with them and rub up against them, for that can rub off on you. And he used to always share that with us ever since, I met him back in 78. Definitely.
And I think that's some of the gap that we have now is, we've gotten away from listening to our elders, right? Where we're moving so fast, and, every generation, the kids are like, oh, you can't tell me old when I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Or I got to make my own mistakes. So I just got to go through. I'm not going to listen to you. But we got to get back to that, right? where like I can listen to y'all talk all day long because I know I'm going to learn something, right? With all the education and world experience that I know, I'm not so smart that I don't know that I can't still learn from y'all, right? There's still things that I'm going to be able to get and make myself better, right? If I'm open and receptive to learning and not having that attitude like, no, I'm good, I think that's really powerful. Do we want to keep going on this? Because I go all day on this. You got me excited.
Well, I'd like to get into this thing about, this rental problem we're having, with getting people help and all these different excuses and blocks that people keep putting up to, to deter and stop, people from getting this help. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't understand why people, get this money from the federal government and they try to act like it's their own, like it's coming out of their pocket. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand. How can you regulate something, that's supposed to be to help people?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? How can you regulate help? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Help spelled, the same way. You can't change the spelling. So I don't understand why we keep running into all of these problems. Every week there's something new I'm hearing about why a person, he can't go back and get no more help. You know what I'm saying? Or he got to wait to, by the time he get the help, it might be too late. You know what I'm saying? Why should a person have to wait till they get a eviction notice to get some help?
Right.
I don't understand that. If I come to a person and say I need some help, I would expect them to help me and get it taken care of as soon as possible. Because if I'm in that position to help you, first of all, I don't want you to go on an emotional roller coaster. I don't want you to get all depressed. I don't want you to start thinking about committing suicide, like life is over. See, that's the thing I don't understand about when it comes to helping people. You know what I'm saying? And people say, oh, I don't understand why they did that to themselves. Because they ain't never been in that position. And if you ain't never been in that position to know how it feels that in the morning when you wake up, the sheriff gonna knock on the door and put you and your kids and your stuff out. If you don't know how that feels, you can't say I care. You can't say that. Because if you care, you take care of that situation that you're supposed to help them with as soon as possible.
Well, I'd like to ask you, ask a question, Mr. Robertson. When you were on a Zoom that we had on with Commerce and with 30 other individuals, how you were sharing with us about your wife in the hospital, you didn't know how you were going to go tell her, can I buy your medication? Am I going to be able to purchase your medication?
Well, yes.
Pay the rent?
Like I said,
How did that happen?
like I say, I've always been one, to take care of mine. You know what I'm saying? And I don't believe in taking help if you don't need it, because there's always people that's less fortunate than yourself. But if you need it, go get that help. And at that point in my life, I needed that help. When Miss Deborah told me what was going on, I was like, oh, God just sent a blessing to me. I guess living these last 16 years on the righteous path and helping anybody I can, regardless of what might come out my pocket, God gonna bless me. He gonna make sure that me and mine is taken care of. And so when I got that help, and then knew I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need this because this don't look like things gonna change for me anytime soon. And then to get told that, oh, wait a minute, I can't get help no more because I got help one time. That was a slap in the face. That was a slap in the face. You know what I'm saying? That's like going to work for somebody and working a whole month and only get a week's worth of pay.
Wow.
And they tell you Well, let me owe you that to next payday. See, I can't take that to my landlord. I can't take that to my landlord and say, hey, my boss said he can't help me because he got to help himself. You know what I'm saying? Because he feels as though that he's doing a little bit too much for me. And I don't understand that because, like I say, we're in a time and crisis, not just in this country, but in the world. This is going around in the world that everybody needs this help. I mean, even some of those people that thought that they would never have days like this are saying to themselves, whoa, I better wake up. I better wake up. All those people that never thought this would happen to them, they're calling those friends that they thought they was better than, saying, hey, you know, between me and you, could you tell me how I can go get some of that help? Because they're embarrassed to go get it.
Yeah.
They're embarrassed because, see, they don't want their friends to know that they having hard times. Well, see, I don't get embarrassed about nothing, you see, because if I need some help, especially talking about taking care of my family, my loved ones, oh, I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask. And if there's a problem in getting it, I want to know why. Why I'm not getting it. I mean, how could you tell these people because they came back twice that they don't qualify? They got to go through this program, the justice program, this program now. Why are all these different changes coming about? Why are these different regulations? Why are these people trying to make Miss Deborah look like she's a bad person? I'll tell you why. Because for the first time, they see a black woman that they thought they had put on the shelf, didn't stay there. And they see that the poor people in Bremerton then finally woke up and not listening to them no more and all that old cheap talk they've been getting. Because see, Miss Deborah's getting results. She keeping families together. She's keeping roofs over their head. She's keeping food in the refrigerator. She's keeping the lights on. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nobody never did that for these people here in Bremerton.
I thank God for the program.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's not just, and it's not just for the people in Bremerton. I got people calling me from all type of places here, you know, around Washington that I've told that what's going on in Bremerton, asking me how can they get in Bremerton to get some help because they're not getting it where they're at. And I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that Miss Deborah is representing us poor people. And I don't mean just black people. I mean poor people. Anybody can be poor. Any color can be poor. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad to see somebody that went down below the Dixon line. You see what I'm saying?
Talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? Because see, some people can only hold their head above water, and some people still don't see you. Some people still won't see you. You see, Miss Deborah is skimming all across the water. You know what I'm saying? She catching them high, low, and in between. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. And in the process, a lot of them is starting to help themselves in ways they never thought about they could. Because somebody believing in them. Somebody believing in their cause. Somebody's willing to step up and talk for them. You know what I'm saying? This is a long time coming. This is a long time coming for Bremerton. And like I say, I've been out here since 1976. And I know all the old families here in Bremerton. You know what I'm saying? And some still might have a little of what they had from back then. But most, those people that they thought was their friends, well, they got that shit now. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
You see what I'm saying? Them properties that some of these old black families own here, oh no, they didn't get what they was worth. And some of them didn't even get it at all. You know, the city of Birmingham got their property. You know, not their relatives, not their kids, not their grandchildren. You see, because people here in Birmingham, they thrive for the people that help them thrive. You see, I was in the military. You see, Bremerton caters to those who help pay their bills. That's the military. That's the businessmen. You know what I'm saying? Not a small people that contribute. Not a small people. We don't matter to them. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We get look, walk out to Silverdale. I always feel different when I go into Silverdale. You see, because I feel like, oh, okay, I'm amongst those people who think they're upper class than me. So I have to lower my tone so I don't offend them in a way that cause me problems. And I don't have a problem doing that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem doing that sometimes. But people need to understand that if you want change, you got to help make that change. You just can't sit at home and watch cable. You got to get out in these streets, spread the word.
100%. That's 100%.
You got to speak up when they say it's a town meeting. Go to the town meeting. Don't sit at home and talk about, oh, I can't stand this person or that person. They do this, they do that. Don't do that. No, go tell the people that you want to talk about in their face. Go tell them to their face. Don't sit at home with your friends, say, oh, they lucky out. If I was there, I'd have told them. And didn't nobody stop me from going. You know what I'm saying? You can get up and go and spread the word and make it be known that you want change here in your town.
Well, Marwan and Boss, we want to get back a little bit back to the rental assistance program. Right now, the whole state is in uproar, and the whole state is hurting. I talk to Commerce probably 2-3 times a day. Their office, and one of the problems that they're seeing, that they're having, is that they don't think any of the agencies, the gatekeepers, hired enough staff on the deal with this program. It was overwhelming and a bit much. That was not good planning. So they're coming out asking. We received the email today, asking us for our feedback, asking us what can we do for suggestions. And this is the first time they sent this out to ask the buying force. I mean, that it came up in my email. Mm-hmm. So you might want to check your email, Marwan.
All right.
And they're asking because the money is there. Believe you, everyone, the money is there, but it's just not getting out fast enough, and they're not bringing everybody to the table to come up with a better plan, a processing plan to get these funds to these landlords, to take care of these tenants that are in need and that is hurting. So we got some things planned this week that we're doing. I'm not going to share. Probably next week I'll share, because you always want to make sure you have facts.
Well, let me ask you something, Deborah. And, we know that this is a systemic situation that we've been facing, since the very beginning, right? And so we have already been hit, and the need for rental assistance, came to be. We already were facing poverty and homelessness and having our homes taken and not being given equity and facing redlining and all these regarding housing. What and how do we change it? So if they're saying, hey, they're now putting out this survey and they're saying, hey, we want to find a way to get the money out and unplug the gaps. What are some of the suggestions that you have, if you've already filled it out, or things that are already in your mind?
Well, something, I haven't filled it out and anything, but my thought process is we all need to come to the table together. Mm-hmm. Not those who never been homeless, those who always had a job, making decisions for these individuals that are in need of assistance. I just think we need to all come together and do a one big planning and put everybody's ideals on the table and become a salad bowl and come up with a better plan. These people are hurting. I have landlords, and I'm still on the same subject. I even have apartment complex that I didn't even know existed in Port Orchard that I was overwhelmed this morning, so I had to call Commerce that are calling me asking me, can I go ahead and help them to get their money from KCR? I had another one call me today. I didn't even know how they found out about me. Can you help us? We had a landlord, two landlords coming here today that owns many, many properties and asking, can you help us? Can you help us? So, I've been trying to make some calls down in Olympia and over to my connections over in Seattle. And I'm hoping I can get some things done this week and by next week, by the end of this month. I mean, it's just horrible what's coming through the door. And this morning I was really, really overwhelmed when I came into the office with landlords, apartment complexes, owners of properties, and property managers, just like, whoom, coming at me. But I don't know. Next week, I just hope to have a better format, some better answers, more clear answers, and the truth. Not something that I've made up and then say Carmen's gave it to me.
Right.
Don't believe everything that you hear. You know what I'm saying? To justify what is being done. It's not true. I just want the people who are listening out there, it's not true.
So let me ask the three of you this, right? Because what Mr. Robinson is saying is absolutely true, right? Things need to change. And there are issues, long time issues that are in place, and there's new issues, right? This new program comes up and then there's issues. And it's like, okay, so why isn't this happening? So let's say this was the very beginning, right? We're at the beginning of the pandemic. The federal government, we're going to allocate these billions of dollars. What would the three of you say would need to happen to ensure that this money gets into the hands of the landlords, into the hands of the clients? And how do you get past that red tape? How should this have been done? If you were in the controller seat where you can
But
make the
one thing I
decision.
wouldn't have made one entity the gatekeeper.
Okay.
Especially if their track record wasn't good.
All right.
In the community. You know what I'm saying? Their numbers weren't even good. You had the numbers and they stated it wasn't good, but you made them the gatekeepers, the sole gatekeepers. I would have made other people the gatekeeper, not left them out. You understand what I'm saying? But I would have made other people the gatekeepers too. I mean, we have another big facility center here that could have been a gatekeeper. And I just thought if they would have just brought everybody to the table and came up with a plan. Now, I'm not going to say anything really against Commerce due to the fact is because Commerce did host several webinars, and I believe I only missed one from the beginning. When they were trying to plan this and had a lot of the landlords on the webinar, to put this together. But some of them were so angry, they couldn't get their thought processes together to come up with a plan.
Oh, wow.
Because their bills were, they were overwhelmed. Owen, their credit scores were going low. They were in the negative, people tearing up their properties. So they really couldn't focus and come up with the thought process wasn't there to find a fix. They were there too busy and several calling it a trap program. The way it is now, they were kind of right. Being a trap program instead of the Treasury Rental Assistance Program, prevention.
Why did people think it was a trap?
Well, that's what they kept saying it was a trap because they didn't think it was going to go. Maybe they foreseen what I didn't see and I'm seeing it now.
Whoa, gotcha. Okay. I'm following.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is they should have had, the buying fours at the table at the very beginning. They should have had people that have experienced homelessness, have experienced poverty, and have gone through it, right? They're the subject matter experts. They know better than anyone else, what it's like and how they access resources, right? Because they're on the other side is the customer. So when they go in and ask for help and they're told to fill this out or go and do this or go here or go there, and they're being bounced around like a pinball, and the documentation is is like this thick and you don't know what you're doing and it's difficult, then they need to have that conversation to cut those processes out so people can get through the line and get the help they need as quick as possible. Does that sound accurate?
Marwan, I'm going to cut you right there. I don't think they did not have the right people at the table, but you can't get much from an angry man. And then if they go back and play those webinars, they had a lot of angry landlords. And then you remember the landlords that were down there at in Olympia. You know what I'm saying? That's why the governor came up and was trying to maneuver this. And that's why we were trying to do a quick fix out there. And it ended up being a mess. And it is a mess to this day. And there's going to be a lot of evictions going on. You can't get a hold of landlords. You can't get a hold of attorneys. You can't sign up. How are you going to go ahead, hire 2 attorneys on to handle this eviction process all the way to cover Mason County to Bainbridge Island? When I got over a stack of $500,000 plus that people are waiting for, wanting rental assistance. I didn't tell them to fill it because I didn't tell them that the second go round is going to be out here, but they already knew from the beginning when we were told that they could get up to 12 months if they needed and if they qualified. Now they can't, and now they're being told if you need second go rounds, you have to go through the eviction process, go through the court systems, get eviction notice put on your door, go through the 14-day notice, the 30-day notice, and might get it on your record where you can't rent again in order to get the second help. When the program was supposed to be in prevention eviction, the prevent from eviction, and it reversed itself. It's a hot mess. I'm not sure if you guys are understanding what I'm saying, but it's a hot mess. And it is overwhelming. I mean, last week I thought was bad, but yesterday and this morning, it was tough.
You know, the last time I was down here, on the pod, I saw the stack of, of all the, she had a stack this high, of people's paperwork waiting, to go in to get their rent paid. And then what really, eats me is they knew school was getting ready to open back up. Most of these parents, they were already going through hard times. Then you got school coming, you got to buy clothes, all kind of supplies and everything. And then they come up with all of these different avenues to block people from getting this money that would help them, that would help their kids. Not only are you just not paying their rent, and that's bad, but you're preventing their kids from going to school and getting a good education by doing this. Because every kid that was used to going to school in decent clothes, nice clothes, they didn't get them this year. And I'm not talking about the ones that wear name brand. I'm talking about those who just wear clothes.
Right.
A lot of them didn't even get that this year to go to school in. So a lot of kids are going to be in class, getting picked at, that already goes on in school with the bullying and stuff.
Well, the one thing, boss, hold on a minute, that we know it's never brought up and to mention about the jobs. They keep saying nobody wants to go to work, but nobody's never looked out there. A lot of these jobs that these individuals are qualified for, yes, they're paying $15 an hour, but they're only part-time. You understand? They're part-time. When you go 4 hours in the daytime, you got to find another part-time for the evening. You got kids. So there's a barrier. The jobs aren't full-time. You go to these restaurants and those jobs, most of those people work part-time. They're not giving them full-time to pay their rent. So it's just like, hell, if I go to work, it's not going to benefit nothing. It's not going to change nothing. And then I got one of my neighbors, she says, how can I go to work? And during the pandemic, she didn't have nobody to watch her child. She was new here. On the show, you remember last time, we had a lady moved from Kent, from Seattle, over the here. And she said she was scared to sign up for the program, for she thought it was coming here to be a good thing, but she didn't know we were on the podcast with Commerce. And then she told Commerce she's scared to apply for it now. She thought she would get some help. I think you remember that conversation, Marwan.
I just see like all of these blocks they're throwing up. You know what I'm saying? They're just to turn people not to come get the help. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that. I just don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That's true. We do need full-time employment to meet rent and child care needs.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, this just some hard times.
And then sometimes you guys have to look at to throw biblical in there. Are we preparing and right in front of us? Are we seeing famine being presented right before us? I'm just keeping it real 100. You go to the stores, there's hardly stuff in there. You have to realize and everything. The stores were putting on the shelves what was in the warehouse. Warehouses aren't being fulfilled, fast enough. Are we preparing for famine? I mean, it says keep your eyes open, be watchful.
So let's talk about it, because we're kind of expanding this, right? This started off as, there's a rental assistance problem in the way that the funds get distributed to the folks that need it, and there's this big backlog. But as we kind of pull back a little bit, we know that the problem is so much bigger than that. And I was saying how this is a systemic issue from every aspect, right? Whether it's education, whether it's housing, whether it's employment. And so when we talk about the $15, and the part that has always been very frustrating to me, when the push has been, when the presidential election was going on, $15 an hour, $15 an hour. $15 an hour is not a livable wage, not for one person, and damn sure not for a family. So do the math with me, everyone. Okay? $15 an hour, 40 hours a week is $600 per week. If you multiply that by 4, that's $2,400 a month. Now, typically, you're going to pay, FICA and some other things. And so you multiply that by 0.8, 20% of that is going to go towards your taxes and all that stuff. You're bringing home $1,920 a month. Let's just say we'll round it up. I'm going to give you an extra $80. You make $2,000 a month. I just got a phone call from someone who said, hey, there's a duplex that's available. It's $1,500.
I knew you were going there. Yes.
So as soon as I spend that $1,500, I got $500 left. I've got to pay my electricity. I got to pay my water. I got to pay my cell phone, internet, right? And even though I might be able to cut out 1 or 2 of those, right? I can have the cell phone and I've got a data plan. So that is my internet, right? I'm not even talking about cable or DirecTV, the luxuries. I'm just saying, to survive, you have to have access, right? How are you going to get to work? Are you on the bus? Are you even on a bus line? Do you have a car? You need car insurance. You need fuel. You need maintenance. You got to have food. So even if you qualify for SNAP benefits, right? And at that rate, at $15 an hour, 40 hours a week, you're probably not qualifying. You're not getting any help there, right? Do you have any student loans? Do you have any other debt? You need toiletries, you need deodorant, you need toothpaste, you need toilet paper, you need dish soap, right? So we need all these things. We can't make a way. And what's happening is rent is continuing to increase.
Oh, so, yes, of course. We had a whole complex. I apologize, Marv.
Go ahead.
But we had. Okay. Okay. We apologize. We're on a time limit here. Sorry. But Marwan, this is what I really wanted to say is that rent is going up. We had one of the big apartment complexes here, been sitting a lot of their tenants down here. And they're going up like $400. I haven't seen no one go under $400 yet. One young man went from $1,500 to $2,400.
In one increase?
One increase. It's horrible.
Wow.
And they're asking what should we do, because we went out, we're putting notices on the doors and this one complex, and they all start swarming in here, two complexes, excuse me, and they all start swarming in here and bringing their rent. The rent increase starts November 1, you know. Then rent increase starts October 1st. They can't even pay what they're paying now. And some of them are out of work or still at the same job and struggling now. So we're gonna have our homeless is gonna be sky high. But listen at this, and then also let's look at the rescue mission. I mean, we're not even in winter yet, and they're overfilled. I mean, they're putting 3 in a room. I heard. That's not factual. I just heard it through the grapevine, and you know how the grapevine is. You know, but I'm just saying. They said 3 people to a room. I know Mr. Washburn had to go out there on Friday and meet with Kirsten, and they had to go talk about getting more rooms.
And it's not even fall yet.
No, it's not even fall.
We haven't even gotten into the rain and, seeing it shift and it getting dark early. We haven't even gotten there. We haven't even hit flu season yet.
And
the
then
moratorium eviction hasn't even hit yet.
Correct. And my thing is talking about the court system. When they do get all these people start going through the eviction process, are we going to have to hire some pro tem judges? Because the Superior Court, and they're booked, you know what I'm saying? This is going to be so big and huge and humongous that are we going to have to bring on some more judges just to handle the rental eviction processes? And I believe that's held in Superior Court, correct?
Yes.
Yes, in Superior Court.
Well, excuse me, to all y'all out there, please support Miss Deborah more. Speak up more. Don't stand in the background. Step up in the front and be seen. Not just for yourself, for your kids, their kids, and so on and so on. And I'm looking forward and hope I get invited back here on many occasions to speak about this situation and other situations that's arising here in Birmingham that we need to bring to the forefront. So to all y'all out there, y'all have a good evening. I have to get home to my wife. So God bless, and let's keep it moving. Can't stop now. Martin didn't stop and he died. Let's keep it pushing.
Like it. All right. That is Mr. Robinson, the boss. The boss. What's powerful before we continue our conversation is, there are a lot of things that need to happen. There's a lot of things in our society that's broken that needs to be fixed. And the thing is it's not going to fix itself. But at the same time, we have a real gift. We have a real opportunity. See, what's different from the last time is we're together now. That folks are coming together and they're working together and they're speaking out. That folks are finding their voice. There is power in numbers.
Yes.
And you have to make your voice heard because people don't know what the issues are. They don't know what you experience. And if they do, they kind of have a general idea, but they sure don't know how you experience what you experience. So it's important that your voices are heard, right? And the many is what makes the change. So folks like Deborah Jackson, she can't do it by herself.
I sure can. Definitely. Thank you, Marwan, to you, Karen Vargas, Christina Rourke, and those that's in the fight. I appreciate you guys because it takes all of us.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I don't want you to go yet. Is it okay if I pull up your website and I can show folks?
Yes, because he really is supposed to be riding. I don't want to walk in. He lives way out on Chico Way.
So this is the Surviving Change website. This is new, so it's still under construction, but you can come on here and take a look. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to let it just sit up here for a little bit because the pictures change on their own. But the website is www.surviving-change.org. And I'll go ahead and put that in the chat right there. It's right there under Deborah's name there. And so you can see so much of what she's done. The picture that's on now is our very first podcast collaboration together, right? Of having the landlords come down and have a conversation. So just really powerful. And that really truly is the opportunity. This is the difference. We weren't doing this before. And we have a lot of good folks in the community and a lot of good organizations in the community that do the work, right? It's not like, no one was trying to help or do any work here, right? Deborah's been doing this for decades, but we're coming together.
Yes, and we're more powerful and stronger together.
Right?
Yes.
More people are involved.
It's not an I-me thing. It's not an I-me thing.
Right.
It's a team effort. Believe you me.
Yolanda, come in and speak a little bit. You've been so quiet back there. You have two dominating voices, so it's hard to get a word in edgewise. What do you say needs to change as far as trying to fix the situations that plague our community?
Well, they just need to find a solution and help get these people's rent paid, because I get emotional seeing all these people come in there trying to get their rent paid. I'm in my car, excuse me, and people are acting crazy, but I get so emotional, and we can't help them,
Mm-hmm.
So it's sad. It's sad. So I just think that they need to, like Deborah said, come to the table. Everybody come to the table and try to find a solution, because there's going to be so much more homeless going on.
So, Deborah, what would you say for folks? They can find themselves in any type of situation. You have folks that are facing homelessness right now. They could be in a women's shelter. They could be sleeping in their car. They could be at the rescue mission. They could be sleeping on someone's couch right now. They could be staying at a different person's house every other day so they don't wear out their welcome, right? So many different things that folks do as they try to hang on and not fall down the rungs of housing stability, right? So you have those folks. You have folks that are, they're paying their rent. They're doing okay. Maybe they're falling behind. They got their help from, the rental assistance, and they're doing okay, right? They just need help. Then you have the folks that need to come back and get more help. Then you have folks that haven't been helped yet, right? I think Matt from KCR was saying there were like 300 people on the wait list that haven't gotten any help for the first time around, right? Like the need is that great. And then you have people that have good jobs. Their housing is fine. They're paying their mortgage. Everything is good. And then you have folks that are really doing well, right? Our rich folks, our wealthy folks that are able to, their house is paid for. They've got a summer property. They're able to do all these things. We are all in this together. What is it that we can do as a community to start to change what's going on? We see the numbers increasing, right? You got Yolanda speaking, and you can hear distress and the mental health issues that are going on right now in our town. What can we do? What can we all do together? That's for either one of you, Deborah or Yolanda.
Go ahead, Deborah.
Oh, I just have my brother in the office right now. Some of you know what that means. And so I'm going to let somebody else go ahead and take that.
Go ahead, Yolanda.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, it's all right.
Repeat the question again, Marwan, please.
So basically, I was just running down that it doesn't matter where you fall in the spectrum of housing security. You could be wealthy with the property, or you could be literally living on the street. What is it that we can all do as a community to change this, to fix this? Because it's going to be us. It's not going to be the government. It's not going to be one agency by itself.
Well, number one thing, it's going to have to take, I'm sorry, I don't want to ignore the conversation, but I have my brother here. Number one, it's going to take, Marwan, we're going to have a conversation. And that has to happen. To get anything fixed, we have to have the conversation. We're going to have realism, have that hard conversation, and come together with the truth. And number one thing, sometimes you're going to have to try plan after plan until one fits and one works. It's going to be trial and error, but playing that blame game does not work.
Okay. I like that. I think that is important, right? We can't, there's some things that have been in place, even for folks that or agencies that we have issues with, people haven't worked there since it opened. So, some people are coming into a machine that's already broken. So how do we begin to fix it? So we need to come to the table and have the conversation. What does that look like?
And then respect one another when we're at the table.
Ooh, I like
You
it.
understand? And then not have these private conversations before we get to the table and just play like we're going through the motion when you have another hidden agenda, hidden plan behind that. We need to come to the table truthfully, honestly, and have that hard conversation and come up with a plan. Then we all need to understand while we're there, this plan that might not work, but let's try it and still keep coming to the table. You know what I'm saying? Coming to the table, because it's something that just didn't happen overnight. It's going to take continuous conversation. Definitely.
That's absolutely facts.
And we
Christina
can't come
says,
to the table, and you can't come to the table add more. You can't come to the table with oh God. I can't even think it. I can't even think it. Say the word right. I'm so tired. But anyway, animosity or whatever I'm trying to say.
Animosity?
Animosity, yes. You know what I'm saying? Then we're dealing with people's lives here. You know what I'm saying? We're dealing with people's lives, and it hurts me to my heart how we don't care about people's lives. When they come in here, and cry and fall out. These people don't even know us. And that just gets me. They don't even know us. And they come in here and they just want to hug you and hold you and just be at the bottom of your leg, holding and crying and stuff.
I mean, you can hear the passion, you can hear the frustration. And I think what's important, what can't be forgotten, is when you're trying to solve a problem, you got to remember that this is a human situation. This is a human issue. We can get really logical and very mechanical when we're trying to solve the issues. And we lose the humanity aspect of it, not just for the people that we're trying to help, but the folks that are in here trying to do the work. See, that's real there. Yolanda, pick it up.
This is people's lives. These are people's lives. People got kids and stuff. We all need to come together and find a solution. Because you never know. I could be homeless next month. I could be homeless. Either one of us, because we're all just one paycheck of being homeless.
You ain't lying.
So.
Well, and you know what? That you've never said anything realer. Well, you probably have, but you said something real just then. I'm still getting over the symptoms of COVID.
Yeah.
I was no good to nobody for 2 weeks. And if my situation was any different than it was now, then I wouldn't have been able to pay my bills. Right? Correct. And it did put me behind. And so if I don't have supports in place, then I'm stuck. I'm done. And because we're in a situation now nationwide that resources are tied up, and you see how long it takes to get through all the quagmire and the red tape, I could be out in the street. Maybe I'm not getting my medicine. Folks, we're moving forward. They've been trying to open up the economy for the longest time. They're going to keep these kids in school as much as possible, right? 2,000 schools have had to close since school opened this year. 2,000. There have already been scores of deaths of our teachers across and for our teachers of color that have comorbidities, that are vaccinated or not vaccinated and they're passing away. If you don't have sick leave, if you don't have vacation leave, there's no sick bank. If you have a job and not a career, if you don't go to work, you don't get paid. And if you don't get paid, you don't eat. This is the crisis that folks are facing. And you're hearing the issues and the situation that's in front of us, right? There's 300 people that KCR said yesterday that haven't been helped yet. They're trying to process that paperwork. And at the same time, there's stacks and stacks and stacks of folks that still need help because it wasn't enough.
Understaffed.
And you've got the government handing out a stimulus after they fight over it, right? You remember those days when the Republicans and the Democrats are fighting over whether to give someone $1,000 or $500
or 600
or 600, right? Like, great. And then they say, "Oh, this lifted folks out of poverty." I mean, they're so tone deaf in that. Great, you help that person for that time, and based on those ridiculous federal poverty numbers, yeah, maybe you lifted them out of poverty for a second, but all they did was kick the can, and they didn't kick it down the road. They just kicked it to the next crack in the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
And see, we've already passed that crack and 15 other cracks. Folks are in a place now that there's no way for them to catch up. And once these, broken safety nets expire, it's going to become tremendously difficult. And unfortunately, folks that are in the middle class or the working class, they're already been helping their friends and family. There's not much left. The churches, there's not much left, right? Because where do the churches get their money? Tithes and offering. Well, if their congregation doesn't have it to give, they don't have it to give for the mission. Because folks have been calling around to the churches. Nope, sorry, we don't have any money to put you up for a hotel we used to have. Nope, sorry, if we do have it, we can only do it for a day or two instead of a week or a month. Resources are drying up. And so we have to do something different. And you can see these folks care. It's real for them. Quite frankly, they don't have to. Deborah's put in her work. She could retire. She's done her community service. She's done more than most will ever dare think about doing in their lifetime. She's sitting in tears, hurting because she wants to help. And she's trying to find a way. She's already said it 3 or 4. I'm tired. I talked to her for 3 hours the other day. Emmys were on. We're talking on the phone. And sometimes we're not even talking.
True.
But that's the support. That's the support. I just need you on the other line right now.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I just need to know I'm not alone in this fight.
Yes.
And so you don't have to be a mental health expert or anything like that. Sometimes you just need to be present for someone.
Correct.
And they can face another day. So we got to keep our pillars strong so they can be the pillars. Because when our pillars fall, what do we have? So I definitely want to thank you, Yolanda. I want to thank you, Deborah, for all the work that you've done. I'm glad that we met and we're in a space that we're able to be collaborative. I'm so surprised at how fast we've found a way to continue to be, right? I mean, when you think about it, I'd have to look and see what the date of the first podcast was. But from the day that we met at the Marine Center, I couldn't have been more than 3 months ago, right?
Yes.
And it was to meet, to have a conversation. It wasn't to figure out how to work together. It was just, hey, I want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what you're about. That's what it was. And now this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't even know what it can know how God is going to use us. We didn't know God was going to use us this way. And our job is only to not get in God's way. And not to let emotion and frustration get in the way. Christina says, I remember Popeye's chicken from Tamale.
Yes.
And like Mr. Robbins was saying, it doesn't take a $300 dinner and fundraisers or anything else, right? It can be some chicken from Popeyes. And folks that are willing to have a conversation and get to know each other, to work through any kind of miscommunication. Is that what that what you meant? Is this what you're about? No, that's not what you're about? Okay, cool. I didn't know that. This is what I thought. I don't understand this. Can you explain it to me? No, I'm not attacking you. I just want understanding. And if you give yourself grace and if you give the other person grace, then you will find a way to move forward. And then things like this can happen. So that's what's so powerful. And so I'm very appreciative of that. And the circle keeps getting bigger, right? Started off with you and Okoye coming to meet with me. And then it's like, okay, well, let's try to do something. Christina sitting on the sidelines. Oh, I'm just here for support, you know. Well, you can see, look in the chat, y'all. Christina's, she's part, right? Then Martita's now coming in. And it's just gaining momentum. And it's gaining momentum. And we're stronger together. I'm a toothpick, and you can snap me in half quite easily. But when you put 6 toothpicks together, it's a lot harder to break. And soon we might be a box of toothpicks. So you're going to need something real strong to try to break us. That's power. And that's the power that we have. And we do dare to be powerful. So whatever you do in your life, whatever change you want to make in your life, whatever you see in the world that you think is an injustice, that you want to make a difference, go ahead and do it. Because you can do it. And the law of attraction says you will bring people to you that will help you in your mission. And you can always join in with other folks. Right? Deborah's Corner on the podcast, that we didn't talk about that. That wasn't a thing. But we meet every Wednesday, talk, and we have conversations. And the juices start flowing. What can we do? What can we do? What should we do? How can we do better? How can we do more? You know what we can do? Deborah, what do you think about Deborah's Corner? Deborah was like, it was like, all right, then.
One is crazy.
Deborah's like, all right, we doing it. Let's do it. And that's it, right?
Oh,
and what's important is that right there, right? The smile, the laughter, the work is hard, but there's love and there's joy. And it is sustaining. When you feel like your cup is too much and it overfills you, I mean, you got to know how much you can take. At the same time, you know, one of the ways that I get through this life that is so hard is to try folks and get with like-minded that want to do that, because that's what fills me. That's what sustains me. And I think, you know, everyone would agree with that. Now, Christina wants me to make sure that we don't forget to talk about the December 20th event. So can you talk about that at wrap?
Okay, we have Hope 360. That's our Christmas giveaway. We do over 300 children for Christmas. So if anybody wants to come sign up, come to 865 6th Street, Suite 305, and sign your children up for Christmas. Our last day to accept an application is this Friday. Plus, also, what's a big thing about it, and I'm hoping and believing that they're going to open up the vaccine to more younger children. So we're going to have a pop-up clinic there, and we're real excited about having the vaccine pop-up clinic there. And we're going to have Santa Claus,
Oh.
greeting all the children at their cars, and everything's going to be safe, social distancing. But we also are going to have a dinner to go for each and every one of the individuals that come out and that sign up. Now, you have to be signed up to get gifts, but you don't have to be signed up to come out and get a vaccine. So everyone's welcome to come out and get your vaccine for those who haven't. And then that area, for those who haven't been, because we have a lot of poverty on low income, like Norwood up there. And we're going to be handing out door to door Norwood to all those parents up there. And I have several clients up in Norwood to come down and get vaccine because sometimes it's hard for them to travel. And we'll be having a van going back and forth up and down from Norwood to there. Then we have the apartment complex. I can't remember them, but Yolanda.
Yes,
The apartment complexes that are up on Point Dexter, going that way. So we have a lot of children that are.
Yeah.
Well, I said Norwood, but the other complex.
Sun Pior.
Yeah, Sun Pior. So we'll be transporting parents and their kids down that haven't signed up, for the Christmas program to come down and get their children vaccinated, and they can get vaccinated. So where our goal is, we always reach our goal 300 kids. I might be over right now. That always happens every year. But we're looking forward.
September.
Yeah, December 23rd. That's our program. It starts at 5:00. I'm sure the vaccine clinic will be set up at 3. So people can start coming out at 3:00. So we'll get more and more information out there. Right now, we know it's from 5 to 7 the giveaway, but we're hoping to open the vaccine clinic around 3:00.
So if you were already vaccinated, can you still come out and are there going to be like pictures with Santa and can folks get the dinner to go?
Yes, the dinner to go. Yes. Ernest Henson is our chef, and he's been our chef, I believe, the past 3 years, 2 to 3 years. And then we have we want Santa Claus. We can't say what Santa Claus is going to be there. Our same jolly old Santa Claus. I won't say no name because kids could be listening. We thank God for him every year. We won't have, maybe he can stand outside the cars. You know what I'm saying? Kids stick their heads out that way to be up to Santa, how safe Santa wants to be.
Hey, and who knows where we'll be at in December, hopefully if all goes well, maybe we've gotten a hold of this thing and, social distancing isn't as important at that point in time, so we'll just have to.
I'm hoping so because our whole goal really was to have it inside like we've always had it inside and have our opera singer, Bridget Brazil, put on a musical because classical music, opera, she sings, and the fly in because I'd like to introduce our children to the arts and to see someone of other colors that looks like them and then teaching them of the classical arts, opera and what have you. So that's our goal was to fly her in and she's still on the calendar to do so. But we came up with a B plan, so we're hoping we can go back to our A plan. But nevertheless, December 23rd, the pop-up clinic will start around 3:00 and our gift giving away for those who have signed up, 5:00, the dinner, handing out meals at 5 o'clock as well at St. Clair Missionary Baptist Church, right next door to the Department of Social and Health Services on Arsenal Way.
And keep in mind, you know, this is Deborah's Corner. So we'll be here every Tuesday. So as the Tuesdays go on, we'll talk about it every Tuesday up until the event. Yes, see, Deborah likes that.
You guys, I am so excited about Leandria Johnson coming. You guys, she's excited. Robert's excited. I mean, you guys, you would think that we've known each other. How many times we've been on the phone? Robert gave me the most compliment. He goes, "Oh, they called me so many times, you know." And he says to me, "Can I really tell you somebody? Has anybody ever told you?" You know, because I just be myself. You know, you talk just like Patty LaBelle. I said, "What?" I said, "Oh, no, no one's never ever told me that." But that was a compliment. They said, "No, you are so real. People don't know the real Patty." You know what I'm saying? And so he goes, we talked to her. He said they talk to her almost every day. And so he goes, "You're just so real, so regular. I mean, just so me. You know, that's just me. I am who I am until I see God." So they love that. You know, I've enjoyed speaking with them and working with them for the past 3 days and 3 or 4 days. And they're excited. I'm excited. And one thing that they did for me that no one wouldn't take away from the event, that they wouldn't let anybody within a 2-mile radius or 2-hour drive, or even the first 10 days of the event and the first 10 days after the event, book in the King County and Kitsap County area, for it wouldn't take away for what we're doing here in Kitsap County. I thought that was very precious of Leandria to do that.
Wow, that's awesome.
So so that, you know, if we had to do a second show, that it'd be all right here in Kitsap County through Surviving Change.
I love it.
Eliminating paralyzing self-perceived limitations. Good night, y'all.
There you go. All right, so it is time. This was our premiere show of Deborah's Corner. But you know what? It ain't over yet. We had a show yesterday. We had a show today. We got a show tomorrow. Carl Jacobson, NAACP, at 5 p.m. Go ahead and please subscribe, like, and share. Set yourself up with your reminders so you never miss out on our show. And then on Thursday, we have Dr. Gib Morrow from Kitsap Public Health. He'll be coming on an hour later at 6 p.m. So that is on Thursday. Dr. Gib is going to come and talk to us about all things COVID. As you know, I am recovering from COVID. And so I think it's important for folks to understand, if you have a breakthrough case, what should you do? You'll hear about what I did. We'll hear if Dr. Gib agrees with what I did, and he'll give us some tips on how we take care of ourselves. And what happens if you have multiple people in the house and someone has COVID. So it's important. And then Friday, we have Tracy Flood, 5 p.m. So we're going to ask Tracy some hard-hitting questions. She is running to become a judge here in Kitsap County. And so if you have questions for Tracy, please either submit them or tune in and ask those at that point in time. All right? And again, that is Carl Jacobson tomorrow at 5 p.m. So for Yolanda, for Deborah, I am Marwan. This is The Conduit. We will see you tomorrow.